So where are we this morning? An absolute joke of a takeover, says Dizza. Well, look, unfortunately it's our job as the United Stand community to dissect where we're at, and I think that where we're at the moment is that you've got to follow the business journalists. Somebody just said, why are you live so early? I need to get a haircut at 10:30. So well, it's not 10:30 actually, it's 9:45. So sorry, 11:45. So that's where we are at the moment. So I just went a little bit early because there was so much to talk about. So we'll be live through till about 10:30. There is a tweet that's just come out here from RMC Sport, and they are saying that sources have confirmed the Reuters report. Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani is in the process of entering into exclusive negotiations with the Glazer family, owner of Manchester United, for the acquisition of the English club. Well, look, I think there's a few places to start here, and I think the place I was always going to start was, and we've got some transfer news, of course, to hit you up with as well. But this is one we're going to discuss in a couple of minutes' time. Have a look at that from Times Sport. We'll discuss that one. We'll definitely discuss that one because I think that's probably about right. However, I think let's start with this one because I think this one. And look, I might be wrong. I might be wrong on this. I'm not pretending that I'm going to be right, but I took stock last night, as I'm sure many of you did, and effectively, Mark, who should we trust the most, Reuters or British journalists? Akil, this is the great question that I wanted to answer at the start because there's so much to get in. City are going to get Vardy Elsa's T2. I think we already knew that. Look, Ben Jacobs, Mike Keegan, David Ornstein, Matt Dickinson, these are very good journalists. There ain't nothing about that. As for the Spectator report, they're an aggregator. I don't really put a lot of faith on the Spectator index because that's just an aggregator site. This is where I put the faith because, Rio, I've got a source, I've got a source, you've got a source, share price is at $25. You could even say, actually, I don't know whether you've seen it, Laurie Whitwell tweeted this morning. I've not read it. I don't need to read it because he's bullet pointed it. Adam Crafton in The Athletic, retweeted by Laurie Whitwell, hit job on Sir Jim. Sir Jim's not run Nice very well. The captain's not very happy. You can read into that because The Athletic, Laurie Whitwell, Adam Crafton have been against Qatar. It's very obvious. They'll say they're not, but I think, they're reporters. We've got every right to, assess their opinion. It's felt like to me, I think Laurie Whitwell was on the overlap a few weeks ago with Gary Neville and Carl Anker, and I think they were all very clearly not pro-Qatar. They haven't been pro-Qatar. And then we get a piece from The Athletic this morning when Adam Crafton yesterday put a tweet out basically taking a pop at Rio Ferdinand because of his morals, which may or may not be right, but ultimately, I quote tweeted that and said it's very unfair when you lot have quite clearly been very pro Sir Jim. Well, there's a piece there now that they're they're anti Sir Jim. So I think when The Athletic are starting to write pieces, are they starting to say, Qatar, we like you, can we come to the press conferences? I think we're starting to see stuff here, and I've not even spoken about this yet, but we're starting to see a shift now. News outlets, we've only got to wait for the Manchester Evening News and Miguel Delaney, and, it's over. Because there's certain journalists and certain outlets, respectfully, look, they'll get the hump about it, but, it's their opinion. If you don't want Qatar and you're talking about morals, stick to your morals. But a lot of them are starting to shift. Why are they starting to shift? Because the Athletic owners and Manchester Evening News owners and whatever other papers will start saying, hold on a minute, I know you've got your morals, but we pay your wages. If Qatar gets hold of Man United, we want the interviews. We want the... We want the stories. You better start writing some positive stuff about Qatar and going on to Jim. He's yesterday's news. So we're starting to see a shift. There's a lot of things. Purely think no one knows and everyone's guessing, says Robert. Well, I disagree with that on Robert. I'm going to come into that now. Transfer journalists know about transfers and business people know about business. WJ Barrett, you definitely follow me on Twitter, don't you? But no, I'm not roasting them, Clinton. I'm just calling it out for what it is because ultimately these people are more than welcome. Some journalists have a pair and will come on the show. Some of them won't because they hold a grudge because they write their pieces and then we say what we think and they don't like it. But it's not personal. it's very obvious from the mood of many journalists around Man United that they don't want Qatar. But I've always said, as soon as Qatar wins, they're going to change. They're not going to rip their season ticket up or their press pass. They're going to be in the front. Oh, can we have an interview? We love Qatar. They're all going to change. And that's what I mean. You know, when that journalist yesterday had a pop at, he said something about Rio Ferdinand had done a video, anti-homophobia video, and then he'd been in Qatar and now he wants Qatar. So basically questioning the morals of Rio Ferdinand, which, you know, anyone's welcome to do that if they want to do it. But I'm like, well, let's not pretend that you don't want Qatar and we're going to get Qatar and you're going to be, can I have a press pass? So where's your morals as well? We've all played, I've played the game. You've played the game. What's happening now? Looks like Qatar's going to win. And all those people that didn't want it will pipe up and say, oh yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great because they're one in on the new Man United. And that's just human behaviour. You know, we've said it about ex-players. Rio yesterday, oh, Qatar, you know, he's there. Where do I sign up? You know, he's full in on Qatar. You know, Gary Neville probably will be very, very soon as well. What did Ben Jacobs say yesterday? There are players involved in both bids. That's why they've been staying quiet. Sir Jim has indicated he wants ex-players involved. Qatar have indicated they want ex-players involved. So they'll jump whichever way it goes, and so will all the journalists. That's football. You know, you can say there's no morals. There isn't any morals in football. It's all about what people can get, what slice of cake they can get. So, look, I think that's a positive. From an observant point of view, we're starting to get hit pieces on Sir Jim and from people who are pro-Qatar. So you can see the shift. You can see the stock price at $25. But this is the thing that's been out since yesterday afternoon, and they keep tweeting it on their Twitter account, Reuters. They're not shifting. RMC have just come out and said it's true as well. I think RMC are French as well. So, you know, so's Nice. So, you know, but ultimately, look, I said this on Twitter last night before I went to bed. All respect to The Athletic, David Ornstein, Simon Stone, you know, I'm just throwing names here. There's nothing wrong. Ben Jacobs, I've got nothing. Some of these people are fantastic journalists, Mike Keegan, etc. But with all due respect, you are football journalists. You know, you're assessing football, transfers, etc. Reuters is respected around the world for business news. In my humble opinion, if I'm going to choose Times Sport or Daily Mail or Manchester Evening News or The Athletic or the BBC Sport or Reuters on business transactions, I think I'm going to jump, you know, like if, you know, basically, you know, if they're like there's two diving boards, one of them is full of sharks, one of them is full of women or men or whatever you want, right? And you've got your trunks on. I feel like the football journalist one is the one that I'm not going to jump into. I'm going to jump. I don't know which one. Where I don't know where I'm going to land. But Reuters is one diving board, and football journalist is the other. I'm jumping off the Reuters board on this one because it's business, and we've been saying this for months. This is not a transfer. This is not a football player. This is a business decision. And Reuters are not backing down. And what are Reuters saying? Man United are negotiating granting exclusivity to the consortium led by Qatar's Sheikh Shazim. And that's probably the sentence that you should go with. And I tell you what, if I jump off that diving board, I mean, I hope it's not a load of girls because I'm a married man. Hopefully it's just my wife, you know. But the reality is, that's the board I'm going to jump off. I'm not going to jump off the football journalist one because I think I might get eaten by a load of sharks. That's where we're at the moment. So we can dissect everything, but that's where I think the most credibility lies. Now,